Hi.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
Felix. Hi. I've been a huge fan since 2016. Actually, it was a funny coincidence that I actually got around your name because I saw a making of video where you were coaching The Rock while he was rapping You're Welcome. Yeah. And everyone in the comments was like, oh, LIN-MANUEL Miranda. I was like, who is that? And then I got into a deep dive and I found out about all of Hamilton, and I think I listened to the cast album for 2.5 years before seeing it in London. And since then I've seen it 5 times in London, and I've persuaded 12 of my friends to go to London and see the show with me, and everyone was weeping afterwards, so mission accomplished.
Oh, thanks. Did you get to see the show on Wednesday?
I saw it yesterday.
Yesterday, okay.
Yesterday. It was fantastic. I'm still like in shock of how good it was. Yeah. Could you have ever thought, back in 2013, while workshopping the show off Broadway and then premiering it in the public theater, that you would one day be sitting here in Hamburg, Germany, experiencing the show in a different language and seeing the impact it had on the genre as a whole? It
was the first thing I thought. I just wondered why it took so long. No, obviously it never in a million years would have occurred to me, because, you know, my first show in the Heights, I was very lucky in that it did very well. We won the Tony for Best Musical. I won my first Tony for Best Score. I thought that's about as well as anyone can hope for. And we ran, you know, for just shy of 3 years. And, you know, I sort of thought I'd hit the pinnacle. But nothing really prepares you for what has happened with Hamilton. And what's been really exciting about this production is there's so many unknowns for us. The 3 years of translating it into German, you know, having an incredibly international cast. One of the things I'm really proud of is this is the most international cast we've ever had. And will this story work? You know, this is a very language-focused story. Will it work in another language? So that's been the most exciting part of it, is all the new challenges it poses.
Getting new audiences, especially here in Germany, to care about a musical like Hamilton enough to actually experience it can be an uphill battle. But I firmly believe it works because of the relatability of Alexander Hamilton's underdog story. Why do you think Hamilton could be a success on this part of the globe?
Oh, you answered it in your question. No, I started reading that book. I picked it out to read on vacation, and a chapter in, I go, this is the most extraordinary story. At the end of the second chapter, I was on Google going Alexander Hamilton musical, because surely someone's already done this. It's too good an idea for it not to already be a musical. And I was, 2 things struck me at once when I got to the part where he basically writes his way out of the Caribbean and to the mainland. One, this reminds me of my father. Because my father went to New York from Puerto Rico to get his education. And 2, the notion that this is someone who changes their fate by virtue of their writing was my way in. That if you put the right words in the right order, it will resonate with someone else. And then that thesis just proved to be right as I continued reading the book. I was like, oh, he writes his way into being Washington's secretary. Oh, he writes his way into being the first treasury of the secretary. Oh, he writes his way into trouble. And so that was sort of part of the initial impulse all along.
Alexander Hamilton's story is truly fascinating, with universal and relatable themes like trust, ambition, love, and friendship. Is there a life story out there of a historical figure, a film, a TV show, or a book that you could compare Hamilton to?
Well, again, the impulse to make it into a musical was this guy's life parallels that of my favorite rappers. This is someone who wrote about their struggle, and in writing about their struggle, their work resonated with other people and they were able to transcend their circumstances. Please pick any early Biggie song, please pick any song of Reasonable Doubt, and you'll see the same phenomenon in action. So yeah, I mean, that really was the impulse, was and then that became my way of understanding the rest of the book.
One of the most impactful moments in the show for me is the small gesture by Eliza in It's Quiet Uptown when she takes Alexander's hand. I always get goosebumps and tears and everything. If you had to choose, what is the most emotional moment for you as a viewer?
It changes with the weather. I will tell you, we're both going to cry in this interview, okay? So I just want you to know you're not going to be alone. The first time I saw the show, I cried at the end of the opening number because I didn't know this because I was in the eye of the hurricane, as it were. But at the end of the opening number, everyone bows their heads, but Hamilton is looking forward. Yeah. And that just knocked me out. I didn't know it was happening, first of all, because I couldn't see from inside the thing. But it also tells us that the rest of them know how the story's gonna end. But at this moment, Hamilton doesn't. He's going forward and everyone else is a narrator. And it's so simple and it's so thrilling. So the first time I saw the show, I was like, oh my God, my collaborators are geniuses and they're gonna make this thing so great. It was just like, you know, you hope that the folks around you are helping you make the best show, and that was the gesture that knocked me out completely. The lyric that always gets me is, she is buried in Trinity Church near you, because we have seen Angelica near them the whole story, like near the, and they will be near them forever, and forever and ever, amen. So that always got me, and it got me in German last night too. And I could point to, and I noticed a new moment last night that I had never noticed before.
Which one?
And to the point where at intermission, I went and pulled up the Disney Plus version because I wasn't sure we were doing it in our original version, which is when Lafayette, sorry, this is a really deep dive, I'm so sorry. When Lafayette passes the letter in Guns and Ships to get to Hamilton, to call Hamilton back into service for the Battle of Yorktown, the letter slows down at birth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I never noticed it either. But literally it goes dum 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 dum.
Because he hesitates.
Yes, but in the Disney Plus version, what you're more aware of is John Ruhl, who does a beautiful dance move while passing it to him. But this time I saw it's the way I read it to last night was fuck, which is also thrilling. So you know, again. We're 7 years in and I'm still finding new moments. So that's amazing. That's just a testament to my collaborators and their incredible work.
And your work as well. What did you think of the, this is a kind of fun one, like apart from Hamilton. What did you think of the Avengers musical in Marvel's Hawkeye show, if you have seen it?
Yeah, I saw the number, yeah.
It's called The Rogers the Musical, and it's very reminiscent of the entire design of
Well, Mark Shaman is a buddy of mine.
Oh, okay.
He wrote the songs for Rogers the Musical. Well, he also wrote the songs for Mary Poppins Returns. So we're connected that way, and I thought he just did a fantastic job.
Wasn't it?
And also, like, stacked cast, like Adam Pascal, they were really good. I was like, I would pay good money to see Rogers the Musical.
Yeah, me too. I was like, where's the cast album? What language would you like to see Hamilton being translated into next? Because actually, I thought the first translation would have been maybe Spanish.
Yeah. Well, I hope Spanish is next. It's going to be tricky because I speak Spanish pretty fluently. Yeah. And if I tried to do the translation, I'd be done roughly by the year 2050, because I'd just be so hard on myself. But yeah, we're basically in the process of finding our translation partners.
Wow, awesome.
So that'll be next, but like, give us a few years.
Sure. Now I have a quick speed run question.
Okay.
So just give me the shortest answer would you like.
Great.
What was the first movie you saw as a kid?
The first movie my parents took me to was Kramer versus Kramer. I was 6 weeks old. Oh. I remember nothing, but apparently I was very well behaved.
Well, that's a good thing. What's the first musical you saw in a theater?
My parents took me to Les Miserables when I was 7 years old. That's probably responsible for us even speaking.
What's your favorite movie adaptation of a musical?
Oh, I think it's a tie between, no, it's Cabaret. Cabaret is genius and really just makes an amazing film version of the show. It's very different from the show. But I would say close second is Rob Marshall's Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite Disney movie? Even though I think I know the answer.
It's Little Mermaid.
Yeah. What would be your dream actor to play Hamilton in a movie adaptation?
I don't know. I'm sort of the only one who's not in a hurry for a movie adaptation of Hamilton because I have a movie adaptation of Hamilton and I'm very proud of it. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay. What is your favorite romantic comedy?
My favorite romantic comedy? Does The Princess Bride count as romantic comedy?
Yeah, sure.
Princess. I just rewatched that with my kids and it was so great. I had forgotten how great they are at every time it gets kissy, Fred Savage like interrupting me like, is this a kissing book? And my kids were like so on board with it.
Awesome.
So yeah, it worked really well.
What is the favorite country you've ever visited?
Oof. I don't know, every country is so different. I can tell you that we really have fallen in love with Wales from my years working on his Dark Materials. Over there. I think if we ever were to buy a home outside the United States, it would probably be in Wales.
Interesting. What's your favorite superhero movie, if you have one?
Black Panther's kind of the gold standard. We just rewatched it. I run a film series in my neighborhood in Washington Heights, and we just rewatched it on the big screen 2 years ago.
I saw it.
So, I'm still like in the glow of that. That thing is incredible.
So you're hyped for Wakanda Forever? It's amazing. What musical is on your list that you haven't seen yet?
What musical's on my list? I don't know. I'm pretty good about seeing them. Actually, you know what I just downloaded that I'm going to watch on the flight home is I've never seen the movie adaptation of Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'm going to watch that in a few hours.
Awesome. Which song is sung more in your household? We Don't Talk About Bruno or You're Welcome?
Oh, We Don't Talk About Bruno by a million miles. That's on my 4-year-old's playlist.
Perfect. What musical do you wish you could have worked on?
Oh, wow. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall during the making of Chorus Line. Just because the process of making that musical was so interesting. It really was the lives of these dancers that continued to be remixed and condensed and shaped into this almost perfect evening of musical theater.
What TV show are you currently enjoying during your time off, if you have?
I don't know what time off is, but there's 4 new episodes of Nailed It on Netflix. I'm looking forward to those. That's one that is like a really full family watch. I love Nicole Byer. I think everything she says is hilariously brilliant, and we love watching them fuck up those cakes.
Can you describe your writing process in 3 words?
I like this challenge. Hold on. Research, empathy, honesty. Those are the 3 things you need.
Amazing. Can you describe yourself in 3 words?
That is harder.
Okay. Do you have a favorite musical episode in a TV show?
Yeah, the Rita Moreno episode of The Muppet Show is pretty fucking perfect. Like her singing Fever with Animal on drums, still funny.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever.
What is the best TV show of all time, in your opinion?
I don't know. I go back to West Wing a lot, just because they're so satisfying to watch. Yeah.
What upcoming movie or TV show are you most looking forward to? So we just had Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Wakanda Forever. I'm looking forward to Spielberg's new movie, The Fabelmans.
Oh yeah, heard about
you know, obviously I'm close with Michelle, who was our incredible Gwen Verdon in Fosse Verdon. I'm excited to see what she does in that film.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie is Seven Samurai.
Wow.
I probably watch it once a year.
Wow.
I always try to bring a new convert to it. I go, it's 3 hours and change. It's in Japanese. It's black and white, but it's the best movie of all time. I promise.
It really is. How many Federalist Papers did James Madison write?
What is it? 26.
29.
29. Shit. I'm doing other stuff during that section.
I know. It was trick question. And in one sentence, what can German audiences expect from Hamilton?
I think they can expect to be moved. I think they're gonna get Hamilton. They're just gonna get an incredibly blazingly new version of Hamilton that is, if they like the original, like they're getting the Megillah and with 7 extra layers of meaning on top.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you.
I can't wait to hear your songs in the Ariel movie.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait for you to hear them.